Hey guys, Mark here with Wolters World. We're in Chichen, Itza, Mexico. Basically, in the Yucatan Peninsula. This is one of the capitals, or the capital, of the Mayan Empire. One of their biggest ruins out here. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. Fantastic place to go. I'm a huge fan of coming here to the Yucatan, coming to Mexico. My dad worked here for years. I love it here. But even the place I love so much like Mexico, I know there's things you're going to love and things you're going to hate. And that's why today we have the 5 things you're going to love and hate about coming to Mexico. Now the first thing is what most people think, especially in the US, they think, oh, if I come to Mexico, I'm going to get shot, I'm going to get decapitated, I'm going to get killed. Guys, you don't have to worry about that much security stuff because where you're going, Cancun is very safe, Acapulco, the Cabo San Lucas, those are really safe places compared to the rest of Mexico, because the place you got to be worried about are the borders with the US, with the drug cartels and stuff. So like Ciudad Juarez, don't go there unless you want to get, in some big trouble. So don't worry about the security thing. You do need to pay attention. It's not as bad as you think it is, but you do need to pay attention to it, especially pickpockets, robberies. Make sure you use the safe in your hotels. Make sure you're putting your money, in your front pocket. You're separating things out. Don't trust people. For taxis, make sure you're taking, registered taxis and all these kind of things, because that can be an issue. And that's the big thing is the security, getting robbed and these kind of things. But overall, you shouldn't worry too much, because if you're coming to Cancun, I feel perfectly safe here. Or if you're going to Acapulco, or the more touristy areas, you should be fine. The second thing you're not going to like about coming to Mexico is the intercity connections. There's no trains, that take people around really, and the buses, there's some nice intercity buses, but it is a long kind of hike between the different cities. It does take a long time, so make sure you plan enough time on your trips to get in between cities, because you will be on a lot of buses getting around, and if you have back problems or stuff like that, it does kind of wear on you in the amount of time you spend on there. But it can be a good time because you do meet a lot of locals when you get on those things, and so it is kind of cool. But getting between the cities can be a hard time if you're using public transport. The third thing you're not going to like about coming to Mexico is the tummy troubles. Guys, there's a reason why it's called Montezuma's Revenge, okay? Because a lot of people, when they come to Mexico, they do have stomach problems, because you know what? You're not supposed to drink the water, okay? And another thing is, it might not be the water that gets you sick. This food here is kind of spicy with all the chilies, and if you're not used to it, you might have some tummy trouble with that way. And especially I've seen a lot of Americans, they come and they get the salsas here, the sauces. They say, oh, at home I put tons of sauce on my chips or my tacos and stuff like that. And so they dump it on, but it's like habanero sauce, and your stomach can't take that kind of heat. And when it says very, very spicy here in Mexico, that means it's oh my God spicy in the US. So just realize you will have some tummy troubles when you come here, so make sure you bring your Imodium, your Pepto, these kind of things to really help you get through those kind of things. And it is part of the experience of coming here, so just be warned beforehand, okay? Number 4, ¿hablas español? Guys, coming to Mexico, you really need to speak Spanish. In the tourist industry, the infrastructure is very good in terms of, like, if you're in Cancun or Acapulco or things. A lot of people do speak English, but if you're getting out in the villages, you want to see real Mexico, not a lot of people actually do speak English. The young people will speak some, and you'll be okay that way, but if you really want to truly enjoy and understand the culture, you really have to learn some Spanish before you come, because just talking to them a little bit, it'll open doors. I remember the first time I came to Mexico, I just chatted with this girl on the street. I ended up going to her grandma's house to be fed, her cousin's birthday party, all kinds of crazy stuff out there. But it's just because I knew a little bit of Spanish, and that will make a difference. And that's why we have a bunch of videos on here for learning Spanish, because it will make it a lot easier and safer when you come here. But just know that no habla inglés is something you're going to hear quite often, okay? And the 5th thing you're going to hate about coming to Mexico is the driving, the parking, the traffic, and paying off the cops when they find out bogus charges on you. And guys, one of the things, if you want to get to see the real Mexico, you can't just take buses everywhere or tours. You got to rent a car. And so when you're renting a car, it is a pain in the butt, 'cause you got to get insurance and extra insurance and get the permits and all these kind of things. And it can be a pain. And then when you're driving around, speed bumps, the roads aren't that great everywhere. In Cancun, they're okay, but other places it's kind of, bumpy, let's say. Lots of speed bumps. Also, you do not want to drive after dark. Not only because maybe it isn't safe, I'm not worried too much about the banditos and all the parts, but you got to watch out for that. But just because there are potholes and stuff like that, you could break your axle and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere. So when it starts to get dusk, make sure you're getting off the road, okay? Also, parking is insane trying to find places, and the traffic, 3 lanes of traffic, there's 5 lanes. 3 lanes on the street, 5 lanes of traffic. So be prepared for the craziness and the driving. And I'll be honest with you, the cops are helpful here, but some of them aren't so nice. So they might be looking for a payoff and stuff like that. So be prepared for kind of bogus charges being made up on you. I remember when I was here with my dad, they'd be like, okay, Mark, don't say anything. Bill, don't say anything, because then maybe they'll think you're from here, so they won't make us pay off a bigger bribe. So be careful with that. It's gotten better, because I've been coming here for 20 years, and it has been getting better, but you do really need to realize that this is something that can happen. So that's why a lot of people stay away from the driving. But those are the 5 things you're going to hate about coming to Mexico, and it's a great place, and these are things you can deal with and you can be prepared for. Now, what are you going to love? And the first thing you're going to love is, guys, the people. Guys, Mexican people are so fantastically friendly and helpful. Even if you don't speak Spanish, the people are going to help you, show you around. They're so proud of their country, and they'll tell you the history, they'll tell you the sights, all kinds of stuff. You know, if they're descendants of the Mayans, they'll know the Mayan history for you. For the Aztecs, they'll have that for you. The people are just fantastic. You're going to love that. So make sure you take the time to get, if you're going to an all-inclusive, get out of the all-inclusive and go meet some locals, or talk to the people changing your sheets and stuff, because getting to know Mexican people, they're fantastic. And that's the one thing I love the most. Everywhere I've gone, from Aguascalientes to here in Cancun and everywhere, the people are great everywhere you go. The second thing you're going to love about it is, guys, this is Chichen Itza behind me. This is one of the 7 wonders of the world. There are amazing ruins here. This is a Mayan ruins, there's Aztec ruins, you have the Spanish colonial cities like Aguascalientes. You can see, you know, the historic, the buildings, the architecture, the cathedrals. Guys, all the architecture and historic buildings here really is fantastic. You see the colonial history, and you see the whole history of basically Mexico and who was all in Mexico for the last few thousand years here, and it is fantastic. They've done a great job of reconstructing a lot of these things, putting it together so tourists like you and me can enjoy it. But please, don't try to steal stuff, because people are still trying to take pieces from it, so don't do that. But you're going to love going to see all the cool sites. So if you do come to an all-inclusive, get the tour to go see a Chichen Itza or some of the other places, okay? The third thing you're going to love about coming to Mexico is the natural beauty and the colors of Mexico, guys. Whether it's, you know, snorkeling, you know, in Cozumel, or hitting the beaches in Acapulco, or going through the mountains or the highlands, guys, the natural beauty of Mexico is fantastic. There's a lot of people, they think it's just beaches. Guys, the country has it all, from the Sonoran Desert in the north, you know, to the beaches here in the Yucatan, and the rainforest or the tropical forest, all these things. There's so much fantastic natural beauty here that you can enjoy. That's why I always say get out of the all-inclusives. And guys, you get in this natural beauty, you go out there, you can have adventure tourism, you can do your zip lining, you can do your snorkeling, all these things, and you'll love it. And you see all these colors, whether you're looking into the sea and you see, you know, the sea changing colors as it's going around, or the buildings and how people paint up their houses, or all kinds of stuff. It is just a fantastic natural beauty, and just the colors of Mexico are fantastic. And of course, with those colors, we have this beautiful blue sky behind me, and that's another thing you're gonna love, is the weather. But I won't put that on the list. I'll just say, just know that the weather's fantastic too, to go with that. And the fourth thing you're gonna love about coming to Mexico is it is an affordable place. Now, I'm not saying it's cheap, and there's different parts that are more expensive or not, but if you're looking to take your family someplace international and, you know, on a budget, this is a great option. Eating, hotels, transportation, even though I make fun of the transportation, it still is very affordable, and it's something that you can actually go on. I mean, I'm taking my kids and my family, I can bring them here. It's no big deal. I see families here all the time, because it is an affordable trip, and you can eat and you can drink and you can have a great time at a really affordable price. And going to sites like this, you know, it's like $10 to come see one of the 7 wonders of the world. I mean, guys, you can't beat it for price, for value. And that's one of the things I really like coming to Mexico, and it's not just here, with the colonial towns and everything, okay? And the museums and all these great things. And the fifth thing you're gonna love about Mexico is the food. Now, guys, some people come from the US think that Taco Bell is Mexican food. Guys, that's Tex-Mex. That is not Mexican food. That is just sad if you think that's what it is. You come to Mexico, the food, the fruits, the vegetables, the chilies, the sauces, everything is so great. I tell you, my favorite memory of coming to Mexico is probably 20 years ago, and at my friend's grandma's house, and she's like, hey, what do you want? I'm like, whatever. And she just made me a little quesadilla, and it was the most tastiest quesadilla I've ever had in my entire life. And the food here is just amazing. So make sure you get out of your hotels, you get out of your all-inclusives, and go to an actual real restaurant and go meet real people and get a real food, because the food here is amazing. You're just gonna love it. But do warn, it can get a little spicy, and if your tummy's not used to that, that's why you got the tummy troubles later. So those are 5 things I love about it, and believe me, there's so much more I love. You know, like I said, the weather, the people, there's so much great stuff here in Mexico. I really highly recommend you guys coming here, and don't worry, it is safer than they make it sound on TV. Just don't stay near the US border, because that's where the problems are. So I hope that helps you get ready for a trip to Mexico. It's a fantastic place. If you want to learn more, check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we appreciate all of our likes and comments. And guys, tell me, what are your favorite places in Mexico? Because mine are so many, I can't even make a top 10 list because I had too many on there. So bye from Chichen Itza, outside of Cancun, Mexico. Adios.